How's it going, everybody? Jordan here, and in today's video I'm gonna go over my build and set review for the Masters of Artemis Legendary Hunter set in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This set is one of the best, if not the best, hunter legendary set in the entire game. It has a 50% damage boost to all hunter abilities that includes Predator Shot, Multi-Shot, Devastating Shot, everything that you use as a hunter, this set boosts. Before we get into the details, remember, if you enjoy this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more Assassin's Creed Odyssey content. Let's get right into it. Now, in order to get the Master of Artemis Legendary Hunter set, you're going to have to start a Daughters of Artemis questline in the region of Phokis. It will require you to kill 8 legendary beasts. There's 2 different boars, a farting boar, a bear, a lion, all sorts of really fun, engaging, and hard legendary fights for you to have in order to get this set. Now, I fought all these legendary creatures again with my Masters of Artemis set, as you can see, and I was able to quickly shred them with this build that I'm going to show you here in a moment. Now, the thing we need to remember is Ubisoft has recently, in the past few months, nerfed hunters in the sense that headshots are no longer a guaranteed crit. So, the thing you're going to have to focus on with this build and other hunter builds is to focus on getting yourself to a 90% or more crit chance while at full health. And the reason it's while at full health is because you get additional crit chance while at full health instead of regular crit chance. And you're expected to be at predominantly full health as a hunter anyways, because you shouldn't be getting into a situation where you're taking damage. Now, when you mix in high crit chance, high crit damage with the Master of Artemis's legendary engraving of 50% damage with all hunter abilities, you'll be able to deal out phenomenal damage to all types of enemies. Devastating shots will be able to kill most mercenaries. Multi-shot will kill dozens of groups of people very quickly, as you can see, and this set is incredibly fun to play, especially if you're struggling to get epic gear. Now, I will say that a well optimized epic hunter build would be a better choice if you're trying to go for the most damage as a hunter, but that gear can be hard to track down. And so the Master of Artemis set is a wonderful way to get towards that set, or to just have really good hunter damage as soon as possible, because all you have to do is finish that quest line to get that gear. Alright, let's go over the gear for this. I went ahead and used the primary weapons to be epic weapons to get a bit more punch out of this build as possible. So for the first weapon, it doesn't matter what weapon type it is, just as long as you have hunter, poison damage, crit damage, and then engrave it with the 30% armor penetration from the Atlantean blade. Now, the 30% armor penetration makes your basic arrows hit as hard as death arrows, so you're gonna want to have that engraving with this. For the secondary weapon, I want more crit chance, so I'm using the special Masters of Water crit chance secondary weapon here. It gives me hunter damage, adrenaline per crit. We're gonna be getting a lot of adrenaline to use a lot of hunter abilities to lean into that set bonus, plus some crit chance. And then because I'm not expecting to get hit and I'm avoiding a lot of interactions, I'm going to engrave this build with the 100% damage but health capped at 25%. For our bow, we're going to be using the Achilles bow. We get hunter damage, crit chance, a additional 20% damage with devastating shot. Devastating shot will be your kill shot for any type of enemy that you want to expire very quickly. Instead of returning on an ability or having to craft new death arrows, I made my basic arrows become poison arrows so that I can keep firing as many arrows as possible. On the head, we have hunter damage, headshot damage, and then I engraved it with crit chance while at full health. Right now, it's more important to get the crit chance to above 90% than to have a high amount of crit damage, so that's what we're going to focus on. On the gauntlets, we have hunter damage, adrenaline on headshot kill, and then we engrave it with more crit chance. On the torso, we have hunter damage, bow charging speed, and then we engrave it with additional crit damage. On the waist, we have hunter damage again, damage with bows on distance targets, which is is not very good in my opinion, but it's okay. This is where we can start to introduce crit damage, so we're going to engrave it with crit damage while at full health on the waist. And then the boots, we have hunter damage, damage with bow charge shot, and then we're gonna engrave it with crit chance while at full health here also. Alright, let's look at the masteries that I use for this set. Now again, if you don't have as many ability points, just focus on the primary ones that I'm focusing on. So I went and put points into additional hunter damage, crit chance, crit damage, headshot damage, damage with bow charge shot, bow charging speed, and then adrenaline on headshot kill. On the assassin tree, we're going to want to put as many points as we can into crit chance at full health, crit damage at full health, damage at full health, poison, and then adrenaline per crit. And then lastly, on the warrior side of things, we're going to want to put at least a couple points into damage dealt restored as health to try to keep us at full health if we happen to get hit by anybody. Alright, let's look at the stats for this build. Again, in the description of this video, you're going to find a link to my ac-builds.com build creator for Assassin's Creed Odyssey that will have all the details of this build so that you can have easy access to it outside of just this video. One of the main things we want to look at is we've increased our damage with headshots to up to a 200%. On top of that, our crit chance is now above 90%, so 96%. We're going to be critting quite often, and when we do crit, we're going to be dealing about 355% damage. If they happen to be a headshot, it's going to jump up another 200% or so. And on top of that, because it's poison arrows, you're going to be dealing another 81% damage with this build. And then the last thing you may not remember, but because it's the set, if you're using devastating shot, predator shot, or multi-shot, you're going to be adding an additional 50% damage with those abilities. Alright, lastly, let's focus on my primary abilities. So in my primary hunter slot, I'm putting devastating shot. This is the most powerful hunter ability in the game. You can one-shot a lot of mercenaries, and when matched with a paralyzing arrow, you can create a lot of ship lieutenants for yourself as well. So you're going to want to pick up devastating shot. In my secondary hunter slot, I'm using multi-shot. Multi-shot with the Masters of Artemis legendary set engraving of 50% damage melts an entire conquest battle. So as a hunter, you're able to easily do conquest battles very quickly with multi-shot. And in my fourth slot, I put Ghost Arrows of Artemis. The Ghost Arrows let you shoot arrows through walls, plus it deals an additional amount of damage as well. Lastly, you're going to want to put points into Sixth Sense to get that additional hunter damage if someone catches you, plus the slow time. 1 point in Arrow Master to get those paralyzing arrows, to recruit ship lieutenants, and then it doesn't hurt to have all the overpowered bow strike attacks either for conquest battles. On the melee side of things, it's really good to focus on the primary one, which is Vanish. Again, you don't want to get hit, so if you're getting swarmed, something like Vanish can quickly stun all the enemies around you and give you an opportunity to get out of there. In my secondary slot, I'm running with Slow Time. Slow Time is fantastic for a hunter, especially again if you get caught in that scenario where there's a bunch of people. You can turn Slow Time on, get a bunch of precise headshots, get a bunch of adrenaline back for your hunter abilities, and be able to then re-engage. Now, because hunters are stealthy, we're going to put some points into Stealth Master and Shadow Assassin for the crit damage, and Poison Mastery for the additional poison damage. And then our last important ability on the melee side of things is going to be Second Wind for the health. We need to be staying at full health, so we're going to need that healing ability. So that's the Master of Artemis set. It's incredibly fun to play, and I recommend to hunter players who are struggling to find the right epic gear to make a really well optimized hunter build that you can rely on this legendary set and still deal a lot of damage even on Nightmare and still have a fun time playing the hunter playstyle. If you enjoyed the hunter set or this video, please leave a comment below. Let me know what kind of other legendary sets or what builds you've been using with the Masters of Artemis set, or if you're struggling to kill those legendary creatures, let me know. And again, if you like this video, please remember to leave a like and subscribe and hit that bell for more Assassin's Creed Odyssey content. As always, I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll see you guys next time.
So proud I was born to be Sparta.